We saw Trump's attempted assassination with that Mars-Uranus conjunct Algol at 26 degrees to Taurus, right within 2 degrees of his midheaven at the time of the assassination attempt. So this is very important because what was interesting about this is that this attempt, first of all, it failed in terms of achieving its outcome, but more importantly, it seems to have galvanized his campaign, something that meaning whatever doesn't kill you will only make you more powerful or stronger. So we're seeing that play out right now. We're going to go back to that in a moment. But what's happened over the past several days since the July 15th assassination attempt, we see 1/3 of the Democratic Party now believes Trump faked the assassination as a conspiracy theory now goes mainstream, according to a Morning Consult poll, founding that 34% of Democrats think Trump faked his own assassination attempt last Saturday. And this is coming from conspiracy theorists who have been referred to as the Blue Anon, And this is reported by the Washington Free Beacon. And basically, what we're saying here is that you see people, Dmitry Milhon is stating that he's also, he's an advisor to LinkedIn. He's the founder of Reid Hoffman, who joked about assassinating Trump the week before the attempt. He sent a memo to reports suggesting they portray the shooting as a false flag operation directly from Vladimir Putin's playbook, designed to give Trump an iconic photo op, saying, quote, "This is a classic Russian tactic, such as when Putin killed 300 civilians in 1999 and blamed it on terrorists to ride the backlash to winning power." So basically he's implying that this is all staged, right? So this is also followed up by Joy Reid of MSNBC is now suggesting that Donald Trump was never hit by a bullet and that his campaign and the Secret Service colluded to kill 2 people in a fake assassination attempt just so Trump could have a photo op. So very important here. In the meantime, another poll came out, and you got to keep in mind, this is all important in reference to this Mars-Pluto conjunct Algol, which is still an effective orb all the way until the first, actually through pretty much to the end of the month. So we're going to hear more of this type of stuff with now 87% of Americans polled by a new IPOS poll stating that they are concerned about violence in the wake of an assassination attempt. 80% are concerned that the country is spiraling out of control. 87% responded that they're somewhat worried about Americans resorting to violence rather than peacefully working together to solve disagreements. Now, what's interesting is the moment that Trump's accepted the nomination, I noted at the time, 9:34:50 p.m. Daylight Saving Time in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And what we note here is we could see that very tight alignment. We see the moon in Sagittarius right up there in the 10th house. These are very important signatures. And the moon is in this quincunx, this very tight quincunx alignment with the Mars-Saturn. So you could see how this Mars-Saturn event, right, the attempted assassination, ties very much into the themes that will be playing out into this election. And we're seeing here that Trump is accepting the nomination, looking at that event against his own natal chart. Again, you can see here that Mars-Uranus still within tight orb to his midheaven, right to his midheaven. We see the sun right on his Saturn-Venus. Actually, I think it's sitting right on his Venus when he accepts the nomination. And we also see the midheaven of the event sitting right close by. It's certainly in the sign of Sagittarius where he has that moon south node. So you could see here, there's a lot of key dynamics at play. We'll go more into it another time, but I just want to show there's a lot of tight correlations here. And then this Mars-Uranus-Algol, at the same time it was hitting Trump's midheaven, it's making a direct oppositional hit right on Biden's sun. So we're seeing Biden's sun being hit exactly at the same time, right? At the time of the assassination attempt, we see the Mars-Uranus hitting Biden's sun. Now, what's interesting about this, as Trump accepts the nomination, we see Biden on the other end of the spectrum, where the Biden nomination odds collapsed during the time of the Mars-Uranus-Algol triple conjunction, right? So we're seeing now reports came out today where Newsmax reported that Biden has already agreed to step down as the Democratic nominee for president, which could happen as early as this weekend. We believe it's Sunday, according to sources within the White House who remained anonymous. But you could see here, looking at the predicted odds, that Kamala Harris in green has now spiked past Biden. Biden's polls collapsed. And again, keep in mind, this is the Mars-Uranus-Algol alignment collapse. And in reverse, it's galvanized not only Trump, but it's galvanized Kamala Harris. And we see now the markets, the betting markets are now predicting 90% probability Biden will step down. So it's almost over. It's almost over, where Washington Post reported that Nancy Pelosi believes Biden can be convinced to drop out soon, with Fox Business reporting that the president is expected to drop out as early as tomorrow. And then we see here the latest report. These are the latest results coming out from AP. Plans to announce withdrawal from nomination as early as this weekend, with Sunday most likely. John Meacham polishing up his remarks. Biden will not resign the presidency, right? He will step down, but he will not resign his presidency. He will step down as the nominee. Biden will not endorse Harris. Open convention with Harris and about 3 others are now in contention. Superdelegates will not be allowed to vote on the first ballot. Harris is vetting at least 4 possible running mates, including Andy Beshear and possibly Shapiro. Now, one of the things we're not surprised, I talked about all last year. Actually, I started talking about it in 2021, where I said that because of the loosening of the bond period, that Biden during this period would begin to unravel medically, politically. His administration, his operations would begin to unravel. And we've seen continued calls for impeachment. We've seen debate. We've seen fracturing in his office. We've seen a number of significant economic setbacks besiege him, inflation, etc. So we're seeing that play out now. In fact, the prediction I made was in August of 2021, where I said, well, it's certainly unfolding. It still has to play out fully yet. The American public will turn against Biden by year end. Well, I was a little early on that, requiring the power elite of the Democratic Party to step in and do damage control and crisis management, which is happening now. Damage control and crisis management is paramount over the next several days. And at some point, the party will realize that Biden is more of a liability for the party than an asset. And the Democrats will likely initiate an attempt to remove Biden from office. It'll at least appear as though the party still maintains some control, despite its infighting between its neoliberal socialists and blue dog moderates. So right now, this is what I'm visualizing as with the Democrats right now. You could see this is from Lord of the Rings, and this is Gollum, right? And you could see all the other competing Gollums for the Ring of Power.
To watch the full presentation and more like this, join the Global Transformation Astrology GTA membership. Get clarity on world events, free from mainstream bias and full of detailed insight and forecasts from the master astrologer who accurately predicted Trump's 2016 presidential win, the Russia-Ukraine war, Arab Spring, the COVID economic crisis, British exit, UAP UFO disclosure, and much more. Join the GTA membership by William Stickevers for monthly webinars, exclusive Q&A sessions, a private member community, resource articles, and more. No astrology knowledge is needed to benefit from the sophisticated synthesis of astrological analysis, geopolitical, and macroeconomic forecasting. Anticipate global shifts and world events to navigate this global transformation with astrological clarity. Join the GTA membership today at williamstickevers.com.